The Silas family went hunting for bunnies. They wanted to make their special Sunday rabbit stew. Suddenly, Silas saw a big gray rabbit. He threw his net to catch it, but the rabbit was super fast. Instead of running away from Silas, the rabbit just stood there and ate a cabbage without being scared. Silas got mad and threw his net again, but this time it fell into a big hole. He had dug that hole a long time ago to catch hyenas that kept stealing his goats and chickens. While Silas was in the hole, he saw something shiny. It was an egg, but it was covered in glitters. Curious, he picked up the egg, looked closely and saw strange words written on it.
The sight of the sun, devours becomes a shield, ebb and fold.
He read out loud before seeing the rabbit he was trying to catch, jumping out of the rabbit hole. Silas, still upset, hopped that way to catch it when he felt a net over him.
I caught two.
Leah, Silas' daughter, screamed. Then Ethan said,
Be quiet, you will scare them.
before pointing his crossbow at his father ready to shoot. Silas panicked and dug further into the small hole after the grey rabbit, until they got to a big tunnel system housing hundreds of bunnies. Silas could hear a loud thump as the rabbit hopped out of the way. Then a big grey bunny came walking up.
I am Elder Buck. You must be the Messiah foretold. Hurry before it's too late.
The bunny said. Silas, bewildered, asked,
What's going to be too late? What Messiah are you talking about? Wait, did you just speak?
Elder Buck held out his front paw, revealing an egg covered in glitters, identical to the one Silas saw earlier.
All our kittens are dying at birth, and the ones that live don't last very long. You're the one to save our nest from extinction.
Silas shook his head.
I must be dreaming again. This rabbit just talked.
It chuckled. One of the rabbits interrupted.
Hey, I know those eyes. That's the farmer whose family hunts us every single day, putting traps all over the farm. There is no way he's the Messiah. He should be sent away for the predictors to finish off.
The other rabbits agreed loudly and started to get closer to Silas, while Silas laughed as he replied.
There is no predictor I cannot take. I am Apex.
Your reflection says otherwise. And no, this is no dream.
A rabbit responded, tossing a metallic tray towards Silas. Silas gazed at himself and was shocked at what he saw. In panic, he yelled,
Why am I a rabbit? What's happening to me?
In this instance, Elder Buck spoke up.
Bessie is a farmer that hunts us, and the lights have sent him to save us. I'm afraid we don't have a choice here. Besides, if we send him to the Predator, we will continue to suffer this ill fate and likely postpone our healing till maybe we're all dead. Let's give him 3 days, and if he's not able to provide a solution, your rat will be justified.
Silas swallowed hard. The gaze of the bunnies felt like heat to his skin. It was obvious they hated him. Quickly, he followed Elder Buck into a smaller burrow. Silas took a close look at the newborn rabbits. He realized they were all sick at birth.
I've seen this before. Ethan had the same illness when he was born, and the hospital could not find a solution. I need some plants from my farm. I think I can help.
Silas and Hoppy, an adventurous rabbit from the nest, leapt for the farm. When they got close, Hoppy screamed because his foot got caught in a trap. Silas tried really hard to open the trap and let Hoppy go, but he couldn't. He knew he needed help, so he ran back to the nest. The scout rabbits went with Silas back to the trap, but Silas was confused because Hoppy wasn't there anymore. They searched frantically for Hoppy, but all they saw were paw prints that just stopped and didn't go anywhere. Heartbroken, they returned to the nest. Silas watched as the nest mourned their loved one. Disheartened, he felt guilty and was about to apologize when Elder Buck cut in and asked.
Did you get what you needed from the farm?
Silas shook his head.
You only have 3 days. Let's go get them.
This time, Silas and Elder Buck went to the farm. Careful, they dodged all the animal traps until they got to where they wanted to go. Elder Buck then asked,
Why do you do this? Why do you hunt us?
It broke the quiet. Silas felt guilty and said that his family had been farmers for a long time, and hunting was a way to bond with one another. He also said his kids were little, so it was safer to hunt smaller animals instead of larger ones.
I'm truly sorry for all the sadness I've caused your family.
Silas expressed his regrets. Feeling a lump in his throat, he picked some plants quickly, putting them in a little bag around his tongue and hoping Elder Buck would ask what they did with the rabbits they had hunted.
Is that all you need?
Asked Elder Buck, as Silas froze. Just then, a net fell over Elder Buck. A kid shouted,
Mom, I caught a big one, and there is another one. Here, hurry up before it gets away.
Silas felt his heart drop. He almost yelled at his son, but then he remembered. He was going to be simmering in the stew for Sunday dinner if he is caught. He glanced quickly at Elder Buck, stuck in the kid's nets before hopping away.
Where is it, Ethan?
Leah asked, breathing heavy. Too late. It's gone, Ethan said as he pulled his caught rabbit into the house. When Silas reached the nest, they were angry, especially the rabbit scouts.
You and your family have caused us so much pain already. I suggest we feed him to the predators now.
The nest groaned before a voice broke and a loud weeping followed. Everyone turned to notice a doll.
Please come save my child.
Begged Silas as she hopped quickly into the nursery. Super fast, Silas took out the plant he had picked from the garden. He hoped it would work as he squashed the plant. Then, really fast, he gave it to the little kitten. The kitten sneezed and its body got warm. Silas said quickly to the nest,
This will only help for a little while. There is one more thing I need from my house to make the kittens totally better.
You're a walking death bag. You should take this one alone.
the leader of the scouts said. Silas went quietly into his house at night because he thought his family would be asleep. He wanted to be sneaky, so he climbed onto a shelf. He tried hard to open it but couldn't. Then he broke it open with a stone.
There it is.
He whispered as he took out a jar of honey. Just then, he heard a familiar voice from the storage room. Silas decides to check it out when he found Elder Buck locked in a cage. Carefully, he unlocked the cage and let Elder Buck out. But then, they had the door closed behind them.
We got another one.
Leah said,
Try to drop at top of the light.
whispered Ethan. Silas' heart sank because he knew his kids were very good at catching prey when they are cornered. Elder Buck stopped Silas' thought.
I will distract them while you go finish the treatment for the nest. Go!
Silas tries to find his way out of the dark storage room, but his foot got caught in an animal trap. Leah whispered happily as Silas tried not to shout. Between painful breath, he whispered to Elder Buck.
What you need to do is mix the sweet honey with the plants we picked. Then give just one little drop to everyone in the nest. You have to complete this now.
Elder Buck nodded his head and then hopped out of the window into the dark night. The next morning, Miss Silas was worried because her husband has gone missing. So she decided to ask other farmers if they'd seen him, but no one had. She returned home feeling worried. But when she arrived, she saw her husband sitting on the kitchen floor and his right foot was bleeding.
Where have you been?
She asked, wondering what happened as she grabbed the first aid kit.
Oh, Papa, look, I caught two rabbits.
Leah shouted super loud as she ran in.
They are so big. I saw them trying to sneak in the back door. Mama, that means I get the biggest portion of rabbit stew today.
Silas, seeing the rabbits in the net, noticed one had the familiar soft, gentle eyes of Elder Buck, and the other one looked a bit grumpy, like the scout leader.
Wow, they are really big.
Silas said. Leah gave the net to her father. He carefully took the rabbit out of the nest and then quickly threw them out of the window.
No more rabbit stew, sweetie. I think we've had enough of that already. Let's try something else for a change.
Miss Silas, surprised, was about to ask a question when her daughter Leah agreed.
I suggest chicken stew, Papa.